Greetings, travelers, and welcome back to another tutorial. This one is something I've seen quite often, and because I do have my own mod pack, get asked frequently, and that is, how do I set up a Minecraft server? So the goal today is we're not going to get into a whole lot of the advanced stuff like Cauldron and Bucket and Spigot and all those others. We're going to set up a very basic Minecraft Forge-based server, and generally how to do it and how to get it set up. Now there's a few things up front that I'm going to make assumptions on. Now one, if you have a Minecraft host like Resident Host, Aim to Game, MC Pro Hosting, those companies, if you reach out to their support, will generally install the mod pack for you. If it's not already in their list of auto installs, I know a lot of Minecraft hosts that will host mod pack or modded Minecraft servers generally have a list of the most common mod packs so that players can just auto install and not have to worry about it. And if the mod pack that you want to install isn't there, I know at least from experience that Resident Host and Aim to Game, when you reach out to their support, they will gladly install whatever mod pack that you want for the server. You usually have to provide them a link to the server package, and in some cases, they will even make the server package for you. But this is going to cover if you have to set this up all on your own. And we're going to use a server that's going to be based on a computer. It's the same process if you're going to do it on a remote server with a regular host. The difference is there you would actually have to set it up using FTP, but you can start getting everything ready by doing it on your computer first, then moving it over. So let's get started. Now the first thing you're going to want to do, and granted I will also say that this is not necessarily going to be the only way to do it. This is the way that I do it that seems to have the least amount of problems, and make sure that you have everything set up properly. So if you see me doing something that you're like, well, that's not how I do it, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong or that you're wrong. It just means that this is the way I do it and it works. So let's go ahead and get started. Now one of the things that I've done is I've created a folder so that I could get it up and running on my computer. Right now the folder is empty. So, and I will provide these links to, or in the description, so that you can find these places. But the first place is getting your Minecraft server set up. Now this place, mcversions.net, lists every version of Minecraft that has ever existed for download. And as you can see, Alpha and Beta did not have a server client, so those will just have the client jar. But you can get the server for most of the others, including snapshots. Now for this tutorial, we're going to use 1.7.10, just because that's what I'm most familiar with at the moment, with as far as mods and what's available. Now you can use the same setup routine is going to be pretty much for every version of Minecraft. So the overall setup will not change. So you're just going to download and go to where your folder is, and install it. Now one of the other things you're going to want to do first, because you have that, now that by itself isn't going to do anything. You need to have a way to run it. Now you could double click it, but the easiest way I find is using Notepad or Notepad++, just some text editor. This is the basic argument for creating a server. So what you're going to do is it's just telling Java how much memory, minimum, maximum, which file to run. No GUI means it's not going to pop up with just that. It's not going to pop up with an interface. It's just going to have the command prompt window. If you want the actual server console to show up, then remove this piece here. Now, a couple of other items we're going to add to this. We're going to do echo off. The reason for that means it's not going to do all the information in the console that it's supposed, that's not relevant. It's just going to be the server information. And then we're going to do pause. Now, what this does is, if in the event there's a crash or something comes up on the console that needs your attention, it's going to pause on the command prompt so that you have a chance to respond. Because one of the things that can happen, and this is only for on a computer, servers run a little, a remote server, gaming server runs a little differently, but on a computer, this way, if it comes up and says, it's found blocks that don't exist, do you want to do anything? If you don't have pause, it actually will just close the window. If there's a crash, it'll just close the window. With pause, it at least lets you see what happened, and then gives you the option to close the window. And then you're just going to File, Save As, and like I have on this one here for my other test, you're going to go, sorry, I was actually looking at my dev work. You're going to save this as all types, and just call it server.bat. That makes it an executable file. Now, double click. And you'll see down here the folders, all the stuff is being generated, and you'll see pause. Okay, so that is normal. So we're going to hit the key, close it, and that's because on the first run it creates this document called EULA. And that's just to make sure that you're agreeing to the Mojang Microsoft Minecraft end user license agreement. Simply change false to true, and rerun your server. And then again on the first run, it's going to generate a world. That's not that important. I mean, if you want to just start from scratch, get in, go right at it, there you go. Now the server's running. You could potentially connect to it right now, but we're not doing just a regular Minecraft server. And I'm also going to show you, if you do /stop, that stop saves and lets you get out of there. So we're going to show real quick. If we go to server.bat, edit, we're going to remove this piece here. Save. Run it again. Now you'll see the difference with the GUI. This is what the GUI that doesn't show up. This is basically like your server console. If you don't want to use just the command prompt. And this, you can see, it just has basic information. It'll tell you what players are online and general information about the server. And this is where you can do it here or in the command prompt. And this is where you can stop the server again. Okay, now that we have this, we need to make this ready to do modded Minecraft. So in order to do that, you will need to download the server version for Minecraft that you're currently running. So we're going to do show all downloads. Scroll down to, and we need 1.7, so we're going 1.7.10. Show all downloads. Now, the key part on here is making sure that when you download Minecraft Forge for your modded server, not only do you want to make sure you have the right version, but depending on what mods you're going to use, especially if you're doing a mod pack. Let's say you get a mod pack that doesn't have a server version, so that's why you're doing this, is to build the mod pack. You need to make sure that you're downloading the same version that the mod pack uses in order for this to work properly. Because if you download the wrong version, there's a good chance that nobody will be able to connect to the server. And depending on the types of mods, they may not be compatible with the version of Forge you download. So you got to make sure you have matched it up with the mod pack. So for this, we're just going to go ahead and download the 1558 version. And we're going to do, if you have a Mac, you're probably going to use this installer. If you have a Windows computer, just download this. And we're going to go ahead and save it to the same server. This isn't the actual executable for the server. You go here, you're going to double click on it, and then find that folder on your PC. And there you go. And then it's going to tell you it's missing launch profile. That's fine, because you don't have, and you're going to do server. It's going to tell you there's already files in the target directory. That's fine too. Hit OK. It's going to download all the, and the reason you want to do this is this downloads all the libraries Forge needs for the version that you chose. If you do the version that doesn't have the installer, you'll have to run it so that you can get the libraries downloaded and then run it again. This way, this solves that step for you. It downloads all the libraries needed, so it's ready to start up again. Alright, now we can go through, we can take this, we can take this, they can be removed. We don't need them anymore. Now, the only other difference here is now you're not going to run this. So we need to edit this file to now point to this. Now, just to make it easy for us, we're going to do this. And we're going to leave this actually we're going to undo that only because it does have some problems. We're going to leave this here but rename Forge. Now in this document we're going to change this to Forge jar, because that's what has to load first. Now we're going to do a first run on the server bat. Now it'll take a minute, and you'll see now it's going to add a bunch of other folders because this is now going to be for modded Minecraft. And for right now, we're still leaving the GUI up just so that you can see what we're doing. Alright, and now everything's done. And you'll see that because it'll say done and then give you this line. That'll tell you that the server's ready to go. So let's go ahead and stop it now because we have everything we need. We are now going to go back here. Oop. Go back here. Type that back in because I don't want that server console back up again. And close it out. Alright, so now at this point you will see your configs, your libraries, your mods, logs, all that stuff that wasn't there before, because now you have a Forge server. At this point, all you're going to need to do is get a server package for whatever mod pack. So in this case, some servers take a while to start up, others don't, depends on the size of the mod pack. But at this point, your server is ready to go. The only thing you need to do at this point is add mods. So the easiest way, if you get a server package, and I'll show you. Now this is going to be dependent on who builds it. Myself personally, I do try to make it so that it literally is drag and drop. So in the case of the Tolkiencraft server package, really all you'd have to do after you get that part and that you've made sure that the Forge version matches, and in this case it doesn't match what we picked. I've actually picked 1566 on this server package, so it's not going to work. We're not going to do it. But you would literally, in the case of my package, just take the mods, config, any other folders. If you look here, let's go ahead and open up another window. And that way you can compare. So you'll see over here, I have an extra folder for custom NPCs and Mistcraft, and then the mods and configs. So what you would generally do is you would copy those files out of the server package for the mod pack over to where your server is set up, and that's pretty much it. That's good to go. The key here is watch that console to see if it does crash or stall out, what the cause is. Most often you're going to get where maybe you have a mod that's on the server that shouldn't. An example of that is mad help is a file that I personally had forgotten at one point. That is a client-only mod, so if it's put on a server, it will crash the server. So that's the other key to make sure. Matter of fact, I can show you here. Just takes a minute to load. You'll notice this is the Tolkiencraft spreadsheet. This is how I keep track of all the mods in the mod pack that I've created, the versions they are, what version I'm going to be updating, the next version that's going to be when I release an update. But more importantly, I've already marked which mods are client only. So for me, it's easy. When I go to create the server package, I just look for these specific mods that have the C and remove them, so that way the server package runs. And then a lot of times this method that I'm showing you for creating the Forge server is exactly what I do to verify that it's going to load and run. And then of course I'll take it and go package it up, and it's ready for all you guys. In the case of a world, so if you use a mod pack that has a pre-generated world, the easiest way, delete the existing one that's created when the server first starts up, and then just upload the one that you have. Now, just as a side note, I'm talking about FTP. I personally use FileZilla. This one, you would just connect to whatever server. It's real simple. You just need the host, username, password. Some hosts that you have will have a special port. I think Aim to Game uses 8821 for their port. You'll have to ask who your host is how to connect FTP, because they vary. You would connect and then just upload it. But again, if you have a Minecraft host, please just don't hesitate to ask them for help. Most of the good hosts have no problem helping players set up a server for a specific mod pack, even if it's not in their auto download list. They'll even help with updating. And I'll put links in the description for at least Resident Host and Aim to Game. But that's pretty much it. That's the very basics for setting up a server. In the case of the mods, and just to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the server package. Literally just copy and paste. You might end up getting this file exists. Do you want to overwrite? If you're on a local, if not, then you go. Now the mods are there. If you don't need the configs, you don't copy it. If you do, you copy those over, so that way when the server loads, all the configs match what the client should typically have, and that's it. You're good to go. We may end up doing an advanced tutorial, which will show you some of the stuff like the server.properties, what some of those settings are, and possibly the whitelist. But that's going to be it for this tutorial. I mean, if you have any other questions about anything we've talked about today, something wasn't clear, or you want some more details because this doesn't help with setting up the server like you think it should, or if you're getting some kind of error, let me know in the comments down below. More than happy to help. I generally respond fairly quickly to any comments on my videos. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Social media links also in the description and on my main channel. I am available all over the place. Discord also. And Player.me, Facebook, Twitter, of course streaming on Twitch and YouTube and Beam. So, you guys, again, thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.